Hello everyone and welcome back to Unsolved. This is the 5th episode. And with me I have Callan, who's playing Richard Barden.
Hello.
Lisa, who is in real life Zia. I switched the names. I was reading your name in Discord.
I am Lisa. I like to play the saxophone.
So yeah, it's Zia who's playing Lisa Danielle Bruno, who's the only police detective in this group. So hi again, Zia. Sorry about I messed that up. And of course, Michael, who's playing Gene Franklin's our local angry man.
Hello.
And then we have Brianna, who is playing Leslie Hart, our psychiatrist.
Hello.
Now, last time we left off, we had a fun time, didn't we, guys? So, last time, if I remember correctly, Kellen did a recap last time, Zia, Brianna. So I think Michael's the only one that hasn't done a recap.
Yep.
So, Gene, what does Gene remember from the last episode? Recap for us.
We opened with me and Rich in the with Gene and Rich in the morgue. We found out Richard had a drinking problem. So he headed to the station. We skipped over to Lisa and Leslie. Lisa called Aggie Underwood. Wasn't at work, wasn't at home. Leslie saw some medical documents and started poking Manley about his medical past, and that was probably a bad idea. Switched back to me and Richard as we show up at the police station. Quarles was pissed as fuck. I almost laughed in his face. As we walked out, he said, I need to get these fuckheads off my case. I called him a fuckhead. He now hates me. Jump back to Leslie and Lisa, who called the mayor to find out that I had already called the mayor. Timey-wimey stuff. So we're going to meet with the mayor tonight at 8. I'm assuming right after we open. And we all met up at the hotel. So we're going to go talk to the mayor. Leslie called the director. I have just asterisk sigh in large letters. Damn it, Leslie. Gene has a side project to gather evidence on Quarles and make them blow up, which will be funny. And we found out that the number given Aggie for Manley's work is a payphone around the corner from the courthouse. So, we can't get a hold of Aggie, and then we dumped through the newspapers. The phrase Black Dahlia is starting to be used, and we found out that the police attempted to interview the mother. That didn't go well, but we have nothing in our file about the mother being interviewed, and I believe that's when we cut.
That is where we cut. Good episode, everyone. That was a very bad joke. I'm sorry. Now, so we are going to go and start up this amazing session. One thing I was very entertained by your recap is that you remembered what Horrell said.
I wrote it down.
Felt like it was necessary to write down. I need to get these fuckheads off this case. So I'm gonna adjust my microphone a bit here because I think it might not be picking me. Hello. Okay. I should be being. I'm picked up better now. Now, sorry about that. So, when we last left off our agents, they were driving towards the. I forgot the name for the building.
City Hall?
Yeah, towards City Hall, where the mayor had agreed to meet them at his office at 8 p.m. way after business hours. But he seemed to be able to make some time for you then. And as you drive with the exhaust of your shitty car just going, you slide up and park in front of City Hall. As you kind of feel the exhaust kind of give a final sound. Now, last time Jean had told everyone how angry Horals had been with the group, and Lisa did not seem to enjoy knowing that. If
feeling like she's about to get demoted.
Yeah, she feels like her job is on the line, quite literally. So
Job's on the line. She just feels like Horal's gonna have it out for her now.
yeah. So as Lisa kind of rolls the car and parks it, you kind of hear a heavy sigh from her as she exits the car.
Supposed to sigh.
No, you don't have to sigh. It's just like it's just a flavor. So everyone, so all of you are exiting the car at the moment.
You okay there, Lisa?
Everything's fine. Walking towards the building.
She's like, everything's fine. Just silently staring at him for a second and then just rushes off.
I should roll my psychoanalysis.
Yes, please. Go and do that. Oh, wait. Before you do that, roll your increases, because I almost forgot.
Alright, then before that, I will roll my spot hidden.
Yes. Fail it, you goose. Ha! You would have gotten a critical of that. Oh boy. That would have given you a point. But now it's just critical fail.
Well, try a listen. Yeah, barely.
Your hearing is getting better, Joe.
Okay, I'll take 4.
Yep. 4 it is. So,
Alright, now I'll roll for my psychoanalysis.
33. She seems obviously troubled. She's obviously troubled by what is by what has occurred, especially like in the station, knowing that basically her job is literally on the line next time she goes into the station is probably weighing quite heavily down on her.
Sorry, clarification. What time is it?
It's 8 p.m. when you're like it's just before 8 p.m. when you are parking in front of City Hall.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, what was the timing, like, would we have enough time to get there like half an hour early?
Yeah. You like left around 7, so you could have easily
Maybe
gone.
we should say that we got there a little bit early so we could snoop a little.
Yeah. You guys can do that if you want to do that.
It's only polite to show up, like, a half an hour or 15 minutes early, especially when you're getting someone kind of important.
Like the mayor.
Like the mayor.
Just like the mayor.
So you're arriving about half an hour early. And you have some free time before you talk to him, so you could, if you want, you can look around, or you can head towards you can enter City Hall immediately right now. But you do know that you probably can't talk to the mayor until 8 p.m. So.
Can we go
Guard
poke
out
that?
those that were coming.
Can we go poke that payphone with a stick?
Yeah, you can. You just have to find it. And Lisa, yes, you would think that that security knows that you're coming. There is a security guard at the door.
Tackled for being suspicious. Because I'm not in my cop uniform.
Did you just say you tackle the guard?
I want to be tackled.
Yeah, I was like, in a moment, I thought she said...
I want me to, but I don't see how it would do anything positive.
I thought...
You haven't done nuts yet.
I was like, oh, you're gonna tackle him? What? So, you're gonna try to find this payphone that's close by? I think it was a block away.
Yeah, I think it said 4.
Yeah, I think it's 4 blocks away.
Do I have to roll to find it?
Yes, please.
Be like spot hidden.
What am I rolling?
Let's
Probably
see.
shouldn't go to the payphone.
Let's see. I'm going to
do that if you guys want me to.
I'm gonna open up a character sheet so that I can have the skills in front of me. Because I want to be able to see things. That's not that. Let's see. Gene, I got you open here, buddy. I want you to roll. I want you to roll navigate.
That's cruel.
Yes, it is.
We had a map back in the apartment. Or in
Yes.
the hotel.
But do you have it now?
Can we roll to see if I took something in my pocket?
Oh, let's get that luck roll going on. Decide who's gonna... let's see. Let's roll 50-50 whether or not it's... no, actually, it's going to be Leslie that's going to be rolling for that luck roll, because that was your idea.
Aw.
Oh, poor Gene.
No.
I roll like LA Streetwise.
You could do that. You could do that, yeah. You also, and also for you, you don't need to roll navigate in LA, because you, like... Or at least you get, like, a ton of pluses navigating in LA, because it's your, like, you live here. So if you're all going, Lisa could probably show you the way. Lisa, you could basically roll navigate with a plus, like, 70 to it.
And why is my navigate 10?
Because it's for everyone 10. Because everyone sucks at navigating, apparently. She knows a lot of how to get to a lot of places in LA, but not that payphone. So,
Try and find it.
she leads you like.
Based are truly against Lisa.
Oh!
Whenever she wants to. Okay.
Oh! So this begins with Lisa saying, "Yeah, I think I know where it is," and she walks into the totally opposite direction, heading like it's to the north of City Hall, but she goes south. But then Gene goes like, okay, this is,
And leaves her behind.
yeah. So Gene's just like, well, okay, no. Okay, there's something wrong here. Follow me. I think, like, I know where this shit is. And you just turn around and you walk there. And you walk like a man with a mission. And just, you arrive there. Like, as if you lived there your whole life. You just walk the streets, all shortcuts. Oh boy.
I told you, it's right here.
So, because you rolled a immediate crit, like a 0-1 on your die, wanna know what I'm gonna allow you to do? You can roll your possible increase immediately.
Okay.
Well done, Gene.
I hate the dice gods.
I love this. You rolled a crit on this, like a 0-1. And then you rolled the bare minimum that you needed to make it for your increase, so you don't get it. Oh my god, I love this. This was a beautiful set of rolls. Gene,
That insult to injury. I wouldn't have rolled for 10.
if you would have rolled 10, that would have been amazing. I'd have been like, oh yeah, see what you missed, Bo.
I would have just left for the day. No.
But you do find the payphone.
Okay.
You at least think that this is the payphone that the operator was talking about. There.
So
I don't
Is
have a
everyone-
fingerprinting kit.
No, you do not have a fingerprint kit.
This.
But yes, Gene.
I said, is everyone there?
Does everyone want to be with Gene? Lisa is probably with Gene right now. But
I'm also probably with Gene.
Bow chicka wow wow?
Really?
No, we
Yeah, I'm just
we
following
know.
along.
okay, so everyone's with you, Gene. You're not alone.
Alright. So this is where Aggie got called from, or was given the number for Mr. Manley's place of work. I don't think he works out of a payphone. How about you guys?
Can I do a spot hidden to see if there's anything around that maybe would stand? Like, if there, I imagine the hospital wouldn't be nearby, but if there's anything that has any sort of connection to anything we've heard about, any buildings or whatever.
Close to the hospital. Can you?
If I rolled right, maybe if I could see if it was close to the hospital. But I'm just talking about doing a spot hidden in general, like to look around the street next to this payphone to see, to sort of gauge, you know.
Yeah, what kind of
who
places are
would
there?
Come out here. Yeah.
Okay.
who would come out here to do it.
That would not really be a spot hidden check. Let's see. Let's have you roll. Okay. I did not expect having to ask someone to roll this. Roll anthropology for me.
There's no point. I have a 1.
But literally, anthropology is like about doing that. But you can try it.
But if she says something, I have an 11 in anthropology. That might be worth something.
Yeah, she could like share this. Like
One.
anthropology is like the study of like culture and places like this. So like in this situation, yes, you would probably use this to try to figure out what kind of person would like gravitate to this kind of area.
I'm not trying to figure out what kind of person I'm trying to like be. Would they come like? Is there anything nearby? Well, never mind.
But you
Are there any buildings nearby that are semi-relevant to the case, or could be? Is that more where you...
nothing that
Yeah,
you
basically.
like just looking around. There's nothing that you can see like obviously that you think is relevant to the case.
Nothing twinges my memory from all of the people we talked about. There's nothing that has a connection to anyone else, basically.
You okay, roll for me. Roll for me an idea roll.
Okie dokie. Ah, there it is. Holy shit, I have 75 idea.
Yeah, you smart little kid.
I'm not gonna get this.
Oh, if only this was a skill that you could increase.
Well, I don't care. What did I do?
So, you think that this, like, if someone was out to lie to them for a specific reason, this, which could possibly be the murderer, or, like, someone at least very close to the case, they probably picked a payphone that was, like, not close to where they actually live, or just...
Yeah, so it would
so-
be like a sort of neighborhood. It wouldn't be sort of a recognizable neighborhood comfort thing.
No,
They
you
wouldn't go out of their way to
yeah,
get away.
you would think that they specifically went there to be far away from areas that they just go locally to.
I don't imagine
So
I
what
would
kind of
share this
area-
because I would think, they're FBI agents. They probably get the gist.
Yeah.
So what kind of area are we actually in? Is it a residential area? Is it an industrial, commercial? What's
If it's
just
next to
generally?
City Hall, I imagine it's commercial.
It's pretty much commercial. Mostly. There's like
I don't know. It change up pretty big in four
um there are like around like most of the it's mostly commercial basically, but from time to time like you can see a few houses around like in flats, and they're like apartments above the stores and stuff like that.
The buildings stick out.
Yeah, these are like apartment buildings. No, not really. It's basically a pretty common looking neighborhood, or just common looking street. I mean,
Bookshop just right next door.
there's a bookstop there, store there. So if you want to check out a bookstore while you wait, but it's closed.
I'm gonna dig through the payphone, see if there's any notes or things up, because people put stuff up in payphones that might be pointing us at someone, or like a mark from where he had maybe written down a note or something.
Ooh.
And Godpool, while he's doing that, since everyone's kind of searching different things, just because we know it's happened before, I'm making sure we aren't being followed.
Yeah. Go for it. Roll spot hidden, bro. Everyone else is busy. I'm guessing you're also kind of doing this, like, not bothering them with it. You're just, like, looking around.
Yeah, I'm just kind of moseying about. Oh well. I don't see anything animals.
You don't see anyone around that you think is suspicious. But Gene, I want you to roll for spot hidden then in the because you're gonna be looking around in that.
Just passed by 1 point.
Oh, sweet banana hammock. Now, you pass by.
Find a banana in the thing.
Oh yeah, you just increased spot hidden. I was looking at your like the base character sheet. I was confused for a moment, but now I'm not anymore.
What if it's spray paint art banana hammocks? But he spray painted a banana hammock on the payphone side.
Yes, there is a spray painted banana hammock. That is the yeah you passed it. You have 63. Nice. So you don't really see anything out of like anything that you think is out of the ordinary there. There is a payphone. There is like an address, a payphone, like a book with all the numbers. Phone book. Yes. Oh my god! I just brain farted so hard. But yes, there's a phone book, and there is, and the phone is there and everything. You don't. It's been a bit vandalized, but other than that, it doesn't really see nothing really big catch your attention. But do you want to do you want to look through the phone book?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. I want to. I'm guessing you're going quickly through it because you don't really have too much time to spend on going through the phone book.
I'm specifically looking for ripped out pages or like names that are circled or something like that.
Okay, I want you to roll. Library use for me because you're just trying to like scan the pages for information.
Oh no! Don't make it.
Okay. So,
I would
you don't-
also like to look for occult, because why not?
You wanna-
look to identify anything occulty in the phone?
so at least you don't see any. You don't see anything out of the ordinary for you. Except for, yeah, a few escort services circled, apparently. Lisa just, like, has to share that information with us. But no, you don't see anything that really jumps out at you. But do you... And I guess then you... are you going to check for occult, or are you going to have Leslie do it? Are you handing Leslie the book?
I will check for a code unless you really want to. You want to rock, paper, scissors for it?
Okay, we'll rock, paper, scissors for it.
You guys have equal occult rolls?
No, I have
No.
a 30, she has a 5.
I need help in. God damn it.
But yeah, that, like, it's more like that's she's specifically Leslie is specifically looking for occult stuff, while Gene wasn't really. He was just trying to find any information in the book, and he didn't see anything. So, anything else you want to do with this phone book?
We take it with us?
You can take it with you. It is chained to it, but you could easily rip the chain off.
I'm sure Lisa has a phone book if you really need one back at her apartment.
I don't think I don't think it's that they specifically need a phone book. It's that they specifically need this phone book.
Can I look for like blood stains on the pages?
Yes, you can. Or something that resembles them, at least.
As a pocket knife if you guys want to cut something off of the book.
So, you are rolling spot hidden for this, because you're just trying to, like, you're not really reading the book.
Yeah, I missed it. Well, you know my spot hidden's crap.
Yeah, you don't see any anything that looks anything different than just ink splashes on it. But yeah, you can take the book if you want it. Nobody's gonna stop you. Especially not if you flash a badge.
That's vandalism.
Police business.
Like,
Does it say Necronomicon on the cover in like scroll?
You know, now that you mention it, it does have some strange writing on the front. No, it doesn't.
Does it?
No, it
Can I roll a
doesn't.
cult on that?
No.
I'm at 16.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Success too.
It's.
Leslie, before you guys take that Klaatu, Alright, we're good.
Oh, I love the fact. I love that I know this reference. It is from my favorite movie.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead is. It's great. Now,
You guys are grabbing it, and we know what happens when you grab it without saying the words. I mean,
yeah. So, but yeah, you can take the book, and nobody would stop you from taking the book, but it's totally up to you. You would have to hold it while you'd be walking.
Do we want the book?
She offers up her
I don't think we
pocket
want the
knife
book.
to
honestly, I don't want the mayor going, why do you have like a ratty old phone book?
You could put it in the car just to give you like. You don't. It's like, why do you have this phone book with you? And you're like, it's evidence.
It could be.
You're touching it with your bare hands then, FBI.
Follow protocol in this jurisdiction.
Lisa, we just need the phone book. We didn't need the phone.
Yeah, just take the whole like phone booth with you.
Lisa, does your father have a truck? All right, let's go get it.
So, is there
Probably does. Oh god.
So yeah, Leslie, what are you saying?
in all seriousness, can we use this phone to call the operator to like track down, get I don't know what like the phone equivalent of like an APB would be, but like get from this in like the time of what calls were made from this phone booth, how long they lasted, and who they went to.
Oh, like get the list of other calls that might have been made around when Aggie was called?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good question.
because then theoretically, if they called other people too, we could, like, if someone was in the phone booth for an awkwardly long period of time in the middle of the day, we could come back Monday and maybe someone has seen this guy.
Right. We could probably come back tomorrow.
We have
This is
no
this is
idea
a
who
commercial
was
area.
making the calls. As you know, it's a public phone booth, so anyone could call anyone. So we'd have no idea if any calls made before or after Aggie's calls were made by the same person.
But
Yeah, but data's always useful.
But you would see a call was made, and then like a very small lag, and then another call was made.
Or like an almost non-existent lag. Because usually you don't like wait at the phone booth for like the person who's currently inside the phone booth to finish their call.
How about this? Godpool, is there any sort of like identification on the phone booth, like a serial number or just like an ID of the phone booth itself?
Just on the payphone itself, there's like just a number for the for that, just like that reference, like the company that like the operator and stuff like that. But
we have the phone number for this
serial
phone
number?
booth.
yeah.
And then let's go talk to the mayor, because I don't want to be late for that, because that would be very, very bad. But we can think about what we want to do after that.
But you were, to give you, to answer your question about knowing the stuff about this phone booth, is that, if I remember correctly, because you are seeking, like, private information, you may need to get a warrant for that. I'm looking that up now.
No, actually you don't have to. We learned this in my my government class. Using a phone booth is a public phone. If
Okay.
we wanted to get phone records from like a house phone, we would need a warrant. But this is a public phone, therefore we
Yeah.
don't need a warrant.
Okay, so yeah, then no, you don't need a warrant. But I'm checking also whether or not, like, how much they track the calls. Like, they might have basically what they might have, and this is what I'm going for here. They might have a list of like calls, like from and to places, and but it won't have anything more than just the phone numbers.
It should have duration.
Yeah, they might have like they have the duration of the call and stuff like that, but it's like there's no names or anything like that. It's just the phone number and duration of call and
no,
stuff.
I knew that. But then we can use that information of the other phone numbers should be in a phone book, and we can cross-reference them.
Or you call operator and say, these numbers were called, where are they?
Well, you-
that information should exist.
Well, you would have to just also go, like you would have to go and get this list.
That's fine.
You could probably get it checked as you do that, like after you
Yeah,
go.
that's fine.
And ask to access the records. Speak words English, please.
You would have to like. You would really have to like. You would have to find some numbers to cross-reference and stuff like that, to make things simple. But yes, are you gonna take this phone book or not? You haven't said yes or no on that.
We're not taking the phone book.
Okay. They leave the phone book.
Okay, the entire time this happening, like Lisa is making sure she's like watching the pocket watch. She does not want to be late. So I just want to make sure we're on time.
Yeah, you would you could leave now and be on time.
Alright.
This is one thing that she'd be like really, really. What's a PC word?
Adamant about?
Yeah, adamant. That's a good one. I was gonna say something completely different that starts with the same letter.
Absolute? What? I don't know.
Aggravated.
Yeah, But
One of those.
one of those things. Now, so you walk back towards the towards City Hall, and when you arrive at the door, you can see like the security guard go, and he like puts out his hand and go, what do you identification, please? Why are you here?
Gene
Give him a
flashes his
rundown.
bat. It's 8 o'clock with the mayor.
I also flashed.
Oh, you're the officers they're expecting. Ah, sorry about that. Just making sure. Go right ahead, sir.
I flash
sirs?
gang signs.
I flash on the
For
sides.
security guards, because they're often retired police force members.
Ma'am?
Yeah, Kellen, you flash gang signs and they're like East Coast gang signs and he doesn't catch them.
You could probably tag like the front of any building in California, and everybody would be confused.
Basically, yeah.
Now, so you walk in and it's like you could obviously see that the place is closed right now because there's not any lights on. But you do see like some you do see a man like walking down the stair. Who's on the like upper floor, and he's kind of walking down like a staircase, and he catches a glimpse of you and goes, "Ah, up here in my office." And he heads back.
My office, that's a good sign. Worked well last time.
Last time you...
Lisa recognized this as the mayor.
Yes, Lisa would recognize this as the mayor.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
I would-
want just like somebody else who happened to be in the building.
It was the janitor! You're walking to the janitor's closet.
Straightening my clothes and sort of nudge them.
So yes, you head towards the... you head upwards and you walk towards his office. And it's left open for you, so you don't need to knock or anything. And when he sees you, like he can see you like through the door, and he, like as you're approaching, and he goes, "Ah, come in." And you can see that when you walk in, you know how like it's typical for like people to pour themselves like a glass of cognac or something like that, like after hours, and they're just like about to head home, but they're still like at the office. Yeah, he's doing that. He's like pouring this
Clearing
up.
up chairs.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice looking like office, and there are 2 stairs. Cognac, cognac. I don't know how.
Cognac.
Yeah, cognac. Not a glass of Kanye.
That's what I heard you say twice.
And but there's also a sofa there and stuff like that. So it's a pretty nice and large office.
I would like to roll either psychology or psychoanalysis on him, see whether he's upset that we called
Rolls.
to see him.
Roll psychology.
Okey-dokey.
Cognac. Yeah.
That's a success.
He doesn't seem to be sad about it at all. Really, he seems to be.
Very
You kind of get.
sort of a-
You get the kind of feeling that he's curious about why you're here, but he's not like, it's not something that bothers him at all. He's just like he expected to see you. You probably think that he expected to see you at some point, but you think that he maybe didn't expect to see you so soon. So he seems to be. He doesn't seem to be in a bad mood or anything. He's just like, when you walk in, he's pouring himself a glass and goes like, "Ah, have a seat, please."
I
Want a drink?
Before I sit, I walk over and I stretch out my hand to him, say, Dr. Leslie Hart, PhD.
Sorry, he puts down the bottle. Fletcher Monroe. Stop that bird.
You, sir.
Fletcher Monroe, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. And I step out of the way so that.
Yeah, there's a macaw in the office. There's a crazy macaw in the office who just squeaks from time to time. That's what Mio, you have a role now. Now, but he goes like, please, do you want a drink? I have some nice beverages here if you want. I also have some water if that's your fancy.
I'd take some water if you had some, sir.
He pours you water and hands you it's in like a cognac glass. So.
Okay.
I'll take a little bit of what he's offering.
He pours you the same stuff he's having.
Gene looks at him sideways.
Yeah, we don't drink. And then Richard goes, oh yeah, I totally drink on the job.
It's not like a whole lot. Cognac is not a drink you drink to drink. That was a weird sentence.
Right, it's just gentlemen having a drink, relaxing around each other.
It's a friendly conversation.
So would also want to shake his hand and
Yeah.
Say Detective Bruno, sir, and just sort of
keeping.
stand back and let them,
As he takes your hand, he goes like, keeping the streets safe for us. I see. Hopefully, you're helping out the good agents here.
Sir.
Now, and he after he takes your hand and you kind of back away to sit down. He kind of walks towards his desk and he doesn't go behind it, but he kind of sits on the edge and goes like, now how can I help you?
This is my turn? Okay. We had a couple of questions for you about the investigation that we've been called in on by yourself to our boss, if you don't mind.
Yeah. How can I help you? I'm all here. I'm all for assisting.
What did we agree on last time?
Last time we agreed we're going to show them the two different coroner's reports.
I wasn't
And
sure how
any
hard we
other-
were going to screw Horals right out the gate.
We were going to present evidence and then let him draw conclusions.
And also be able to put in a word about getting warrants, since we might not be able to get them through the police station. This might be a way to do it and talking to the judge for us.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I had my ducks in a row before I started talking.
We've all slipped since then.
She doesn't know why she's here because she works for the corrupt police department.
You don't want to anger the mayor as well.
So, sir, we might need a little bit of your help. So we've been trying to work with the local police force on this case, and it looks like the information they're providing us and the information they're gathered don't really add up. I pull out the coroner's reports. For example, we got a coroner's report released to us by the police force here, and in parallel, we went and asked the coroner ourselves a few questions. As you can see on page 15, paragraph 4, it looks like the copy that we have has been doctored. I don't know how much other information that we've received from the local force doesn't match, but I do know that we talked to Miss Aggie Underwood, who was the first reporter on the scene, and she did say that she released to the force a number of pictures that she took, and we've been told that by them that they received no evidence or none of that evidence to date. So we're a little stuck on how you would like us to move forward.
He takes the files from you. He kind of starts to he looks up the doctrination that you mentioned to him, and he goes for a while. And I'm gonna do my first roll ever.
And if he asks questions, Gene will sit down with him and walk him through how the doctoring was done and any technical questions to help him with that. Or to help him understand the information in front of him.
My name is Gene, and I'm a forgery master.
And as a meta thing, we should probably make him think more like it's a departmental problem that they're corrupt.
Oh, nice.
Because if we say we think they're corrupt and he's part of it, we might be boned. Him think we're just having like outsiders versus local problems.
I was going
Yeah,
to
that'd
probably.
be a great way to get him. We walk into the mayor, hey, we think you're corrupt, here's our evidence.
Richard, you were saying?
I was probably going to be doing my normal Richard thing and kind of observing the office and doing my best to glean any form of information I can just from his setting and stuff he may have set up, pictures.
Okay.
logs.
I'm gonna basically just go through what he saw in a moment, and then I'll get to you.
No, that's fine. That's
Are
just.
you just doing like a Robert Downey Jr. and you just have like a backup piece of cloth that matches one of the chairs? You just sit in it. I am not here.
Now, he goes through both of the files, and goes, yeah, Which one did you say that was the original one you got?
The original one we received, the one we received from the police force, or the one we received from the coroner?
The one that you received from the police force.
I point him at the one that's missing the extra information.
Okay. I told him to cooperate with you.
Yeah, we've been having issues with that as well. He met with he called me in earlier because there was a concern about how one of my men was handling themselves with someone they were interviewing. I distinctly heard him say, I need to get these fuckheads off my case as we walk out. He's been openly hostile towards us working with him. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that your police chief is actively interfering with us beyond just other corrupt practices.
I knew that he wasn't too fond of the idea that that I wanted the FBI to assist with the case, but this was such a brutal murder that we needed to get this case solved. But I think his professional pride in his profession is kind of getting in his way of trying to just solve the case. I'll look into it. I'll tell them to be more forthcoming with the evidence, and I'll see what I can do in regards to getting them to stop. This is not how he usually acts.
I'm not sure at this moment that we want you to act on this. It might make the relationship even more hostile, but we will need your help because we will need some warrants to investigate a few other things. And it might be easier to go through you than to try and get them through the police force if you have a local judge that you trust that we can approach if we need anything.
Well, I used to be a judge, so I have plenty of connections in the jury. So
I want to roll the psychoanalysis on the mayor.
okay, what are you trying to gather on him?
If he's being honest about, like, the way I heard it was he's disgruntled but not surprised. I just want to see if I can tell if he's hiding anything, if there's anything that's not being said.
You feel that he's not lying, so he's being forthcoming about the information. He does seem to be pretty disgruntled though by this whole ordeal. He seems to know, like, Chief Worrell, so this is obviously bothering him. But he doesn't seem to be lying or anything like that.
Can I roll a psychology or psychoanalysis to see if he and Coral are... he considers Coral to be like a friend or merely a business acquaintance?
No, you would have to gather a bit more like information about him and Horals to be able to make that make that, because he hasn't really mentioned him in any other way than professional. So you would gather that they have a professional relationship, but they've known each other for a while.
In that case, after Kellen rolls, can I roll spot hidden as well? Since I'd be like observing the room.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
So both you and Richard, please roll for me spot hidden.
No, again.
Nice.
Lisa, you can do it.
Try it.
Oh, did you do it? Oh boy.
60.
You're a very high roller, Lisa. So,
I regularly roll like 70s and 90s. It's great.
now, looking over the room, Richard doesn't see anything of interest, but Lisa, you managed to kind of observe the room, and you do notice that like a few of the pictures have like maybe 2 pictures. You see like pictures of him and Horals shaking hands, and you think that both of them are like from when he was being like after he was elected mayor and after he was re-elected.
So I gleaned from a couple pictures that he might be a little bit closer to Horal.
Yeah. There might be more than just they might be more than just business buddies. They might be like I wouldn't go as far to say as like
Together.
I wouldn't go as far to say as like great friends or anything like that, but they might be on good enough terms to like from time to time like grab a drink together or stuff like that.
I recognize anyone else from the pictures?
Most of them are just city officials and the mayor's family and stuff like that.
No one that I would know about, like in the police force or
Not anyone of interest. That's worded like that.
okay.
Which basically means that you probably know some of them, but it doesn't have any like relevance to what's going on.
I'm gonna commit his son's face to memory.
Because you think he's hot.
I think he's creepy. He has beady little eyes.
Now,
Anyway,
Is his name Eric?
Oh.
no, his name was not Eric. It's Barry.
anyway, I'm gonna commit his face to memory.
Okay, you do that. Now, it's gonna be fun when we roll that intelligence no roll to see if you remember. But yeah, he seems to be, for you, Leslie, he does seem to be genuine about wanting to help in this situation, and he doesn't seem to be seems to be surprised that he's letting this interfere like with the investigation itself to this extent. You think that he probably expected him to be a hard ass about this stuff, but not like withhold evidence.
All right, then I asked the mayor, sir, you called us in rather quickly to look into this murder. Is there a particular reason for that?
One of the things that's been going on currently is that the police haven't been the most, let's just say, reliable source to resolve the crimes here. And this whole murder case here about this werewolf murder, as they named them in the files, we can't have this just sticking out here, and for as long as it has. We need to solve this to try to get things back down. Like, we need to get some trust back towards the local law enforcement. People don't believe that they value the common man.
Sure, not to do your job for you, have you considered gutting the fort and rebuilding it from the ground up?
If I could do that, then...
You're appointee, right?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said, Gene.
I said Horrells is your appointee, right? You can replace him.
Yes, but I didn't know how far this went. I didn't think that Horrells was a part of this whole charade. I thought that he was trying to fix this.
Well, maybe he did at one point, but it seems like his pride may be getting in the way, among other things.
Yeah, that's what I fear. So, I'll try to deal with I'll see what I can do about this with the whole deal with the getting you warrants. I'll see what I can do there. That shouldn't be too hard. I'll give you an. I'll.
Stuff we can't wait the weekend to look into.
Let's see. He will give you the name of a judge called Robert West.
Not Herbert.
No, not Herbert. And he does tell you that he will call him beforehand and let him know that you're coming, and for what reason, so that he knows that he's coming, like after he's talked to him and stuff, so that he will be expecting you.
Also ask for contact information, phone numbers, addresses. So
yeah, he gives you his phone number to both to basically, he works in City Hall, so he gives you just his the phone number to his office. He probably won't be back. You could possibly get a hold of him during the weekend, but you'd have to call him and call him at his house.
Yeah, if we could ask for an emergency
phone
with a promise that we would not use it unless it was a true emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I make it clear to the mayor that we're not screwing around, that we're going to be working through the weekend. We don't have a lot of time to break we can't take the weekend off and wait to keep moving until Monday.
Yeah, he nods towards that and goes, yeah, I'll mention to him that you'll be contacting him this weekend. I'll call him tonight. I recommend that you call him tomorrow when he has had time to prepare. It's late this evening, and I'll inform him about this whole ordeal tonight.
Is the does the office have a big window that looks up down on the city?
There's a window, not a huge one though.
Is your question? Could we see the?
No.
Okay.
It was if I'm more trying to see what kind of person he is. I want to look to this. If I go to the window and I look out, do I see just the pretty side of the city, or do I see a much more realistic side where there are poor and needy as well as rich and affluent?
Are we even high up enough to see the city?
Not to that extent though, but you do it just points towards one of the the office points towards the commercial district that you were like in earlier. It's not like directly into it, but like you can see into it's to the north. And the whole area around City Hall looks to be in pretty good state overall. It's not like shitty or like great, but it's like not bad.
Alright. I probably don't get anything from that.
No, you don't.
Can I roll an idea? Because I feel like there's something big that I'm missing that I should ask him about.
I mean, there's been a couple of big things that you guys have missed. But yes, you can roll an idea.
Oh, you're kidding me!
No, your idea is 75.
Oh no, I thought I was rolling my luck. My idea is 75, so I do get an idea.
You think there's more to this mayor than he's letting out really, but he's being pretty casual currently, and you're not sure whether or not prying into all of that would be good for you, especially since you're trying to get his help.
Is it too late to roll? It probably is, but I'll ask anyway. Is it too late to roll like a psychoanalysis on his face when he was reading the documents, not comparing the falsities, but like the actual grotesqueness of the crime?
You don't really need to roll anything. I can just give you a quick description of his face at the time. Like because he seemed to be somewhat obviously disturbed by some of the grotesque stuff that he was reading, but he didn't read all of the file. So
he was noticeably disturbed.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were noticeably disturbed when you read it, and you guys are used to this. But yes, he did seem to be noticeably disturbed by the fact that she was cut into halves and drained of her blood. But he got the Cliff Notes version because he only really read the part that Jean told him about.
Can I look to see what degrees are on his walls?
Yes, you can. You could do that while Jean is talking to him.
Okay.
He graduated from there is a law degree there where he graduated from the University of Southern California Law School. No, he didn't graduate there. He dropped out of it, so no. But there are like some on the wall. There are some framed reports that are written by him from back when he was a reporter. And he obviously has he let's see here. He seems to have. I'm gonna check this here out real quick. What this is, so that I know what this is. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if you would know this at this time, so no. He seems to have. Then you can also see a few of his army. Some of his army days, like he didn't get a whole lot of medals or anything like that, but he did. There are also like paperwork on the wall that like have his like when he was appointed state deputy state commissioner and stuff like that. So there's a lot of he's had a lot of big roles. He's been he's been a superior court judge. He was that for 12 years, and he was an executive secretary to the Californian governor, Friend Richardson. And he seems to have some from his army days. He served in the 14th Field Artillery, and then and some military intelligence division. It's basically some medals and paperwork about that. Basically, like recognitions and stuff like that.
All right, I turned to the mayor, and I said, when you were a judge, did you see a lot of violent people? Someone who could do something like this? I nod at the coroner's report.
There have been a lot of violent people. I won't deny that I haven't that I've seen crimes similar to this, but not to this grotesque nature. But you don't really get used to this kind of stuff.
Any that stick out in your head, sir?
Not greatly, no. Most of it's just from evidence and what I've heard from the during my tenure as judge. I never really saw the victims unless they were on photographs of some sorts. But
really sadistic. Any particularly sadistic defendants that you've seen?
More than I can count, really. None of the cases that I remember, at least, come close to resembling this case. Doesn't seem to be any. It doesn't resemble any case that I remember, at least. Oh, Lisa just dropped out there for a second.
What sort of man do you think could do such a thing? If you had to picture him in your mind.
You'd be surprised. You stop being surprised by what people can do after you've seen teenagers that are like take down men twice their size and all that kind of bull. So if anything, I think this is a somewhat sophisticated person, if anything.
So, question for you. You've been mayor here for a while. The stuff that was cut out of the coroner's report, the cables and the electrocution, is there somewhere in the city that jumps out to you where someone could have held the woman and tortured her? Because there's a reason that was cut out of the report. And the coroner didn't seem to have anything, but
not any.
You were dead for a while, and this is anywhere you could get those a cable like that, or somewhere that you could hide someone for a while.
You could get some of these cables in a local hardware store.
There's no electrician's guild or anything.
Let's just find out.
Or a union, something like that. Then was this before unions?
Probably not.
International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. That is something, but I'm not sure that is... Oh, that's found in 1891.
Still, it'd be.
But,
it wouldn't be much good to us if you could get this shit just at any old hardware store.
You could, there is a... you could... I would think that there's some sorts of electrical union, so for the sake of interest, for the sake of fun, I will... there is a union that, like, construction workers, mostly gathered by, are associated with. It's, a lot of electricians are go there. Wow, there was a weird sound in the background there.
What, pencil?
No, like like a. Now that's on the internet.
It's my bagpipes. No, not really.
Might be my computer again.
But yeah, there's there's a union for construction workers, and the electricians are kind of a part of that whole thing. But again, you could get these the things that were described in the coroner's report. You could get these at our local hardware store.
But does anyone have the knowledge to be able to use them on someone else without also either burning the house down or electrocuting themselves?
Roll electrical repair.
Honestly,
he will do that as well.
If you know where to get a portable battery and how to...
It's very simple to do this in a way. But
if you know how to
reset about it.
I mean,
Might as well.
I'm not a serial killer, but I could probably do it in nowadays.
yeah. However, basically, I'm also giving a plus on this because this is a relatively easy thing to figure out. I'm giving a plus. I'm giving a plus 30 to it. So, if anyone makes it with a plus 30, let me know. So you have a 40% chance of getting it if you have nothing in it.
Gene rolled a 12.
Okay, Gene rolled a 12. The mayor rolled a 22. Lisa rolls something. I mean, Lisa and Richard, you could roll as well, because that was just a open question for everyone that Leslie's put. No.
I can't succeed at anything today, so...
I mean, you and Lisa are like siblings when it comes to that. The horrible rollers. But Gene and the mayor kind of figured this out, and you know that again, it's you know that basically, if you would have like a car battery of sorts, you could. And just have the cables and stuff like that. You could easily do what was described in the file, like without having that much knowledge about electrical usage. But you don't know how but you don't know like anything specifically about like if you'd use it with the electricity in the house, you don't know how to do that. But with a car battery, you think that you could do this.
Since you could do this with a car battery, couldn't you also roll mechanical repair? Repair and get that.
The reason why we rolled specifically electrical repair is because this was specifically a question about electricity. It was specifically whether or not electricity could do this. Like anything electrical thing could do this. So if it would have,
electrical thing caused the wires are the thing that caused the burns.
Yeah, the wires are what caused the burns from the electricity. Mechanical repair would have told you the car works. Woo! There's a battery in the car. But no, you know that you could take a car battery out of a car and use that to do this. You could also just buy a battery and charge it yourself. Which is not.
I would imagine an emergency generator just for the. Are we at the point in time in which, oh god, disaster repair or disaster prepping? There yet? If anyone was to buy a portable generator for the basement, they could probably do it off that too.
Let's see if I can find out.
Killer, I just watched a lot of Criminal Minds, okay?
Yeah, they were used, emergency power systems were used as early as World War II in naval ships. So, I'm not incredibly sure how, it would not be, I don't think it would be incredibly, common at least, but
there might be one in a hospital.
Yeah, there might be one in a hospital and stuff like that.
I asked.
Check out the hospital basement.
The murderer was the coroner!
I asked if there are any, or I asked what the institutes of higher education in the area are. Whether that be college, medical schools, plumbing schools, just what are all the schools in the local area?
Schools in the local area.
Yeah, specifically higher ed. I'm not talking about high schools, but further education.
Probably a lot of acting and makeup schools.
Not the schools where the gay people go.
Whoa!
In character, of course, but...
Let's see, this does not have the information I need.
Yet.
I have a German next to me.
Yet is not German.
I know. Let's see. I think they're. Oh my god, it's hard to find this out when I don't have a map. But there are.
I remember something when we were doing the episode where we were walking around the crime scene. You talking about some sort of medical school of some type.
Yeah, but there are colleges here, and there is there would be an acting school here as well. And there are a bunch of schools in the state. To make things simplified here, why what are you trying to gather from this information?
I'm looking at like any medical schools or electrician school, any fields that are training people to be the sort of person I'm profiling.
Actually, find out in the phone book.
Yeah. Well,
Went back
schools.
outside to that phone book. Yellow pages with all of that information in it.
Gonna do this.
So much I would imagine a mayor knows about that sort of crap.
So, the University of California Medical School at Los Angeles. So, yeah, there is a medical school in LA, and let's see here. Depends really on here, and then there is like a, and then there is like a place where you, and then there is a school that kind of trains in all sorts of construction work, like I don't remember what the kind of school would be, what they are called in English, but it's basically like it's a school that there's a school. Yeah, so it is basically a school about engineering school in general.
Okay.
Like that is what catches your. Those two would probably catch your attention since that's what you are looking for.
Yeah.
That you're looking for.
I still feel like we're missing something huge.
Can you give an idea for a great world's corruption at
Oh boy, you went total Robo Man for me here. So I need you to do that again.
I said, can Gene roll idea for breaking the case with the Horal's corruption thing?
Yeah, roll a single %, and you get a, and if you get it, oh my god, you were like very close to it, and if you get it, you will get like no info.
Aw, but I rolled an 11.
But you get no info. But no, you do not break the case suddenly.
But does he
Like,
get
oh!
an ID?
So I was looking for like the thing to say to the mayor that will help us sort of work on breaking the case. Like, you know, the what are Horal's weaknesses? The buttons to push that will get me somewhere with getting inside the corruption circle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're not.
I think it's a horrible risk to take.
I think yeah, this is just thinking. You're not sure how smart that would be in this situation, and that's mostly because of because currently your biggest ally in this case is the mayor at the moment.
So
Hey,
what
wait,
I'm
wait.
looking for,
And
so what I'm looking for
I-
is. Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
Can I ask the mayor very nicely not to let Chief Horal sign me off of the case?
yeah, I mean, you can ask him. You have to do it in character though. So have fun with that.
You're going robot for me, so I need you to repeat that.
You would need to do that in character. So.
Like to say, well, as there's sort of a contemplative lull in the conversation.
So I'm guessing you approach him.
Well, aren't we still in the room talking to him?
Yeah, I mean, like if it's more like since you're asking him this like as a favor, I would think that you'd approach him like specifically instead of like saying it over the entire room.
For the entire room.
Okay,
She
yeah.
has no like,
Social cues.
Shame.
she's just asking him.
Okay.
It's always from the top.
So she would
Shame.
say, Mr. Mayor, for speaking to a suspect that the police have that we do not believe is a viable suspect, became scared and called Chief Coral to complain about our conduct. This would not have been a problem. We did not break any. We did not cross any lines. Although Chief Coral would have you think otherwise. However, I've seen dirtier, but hold on, I'm trying to think out of character. I have seen much blurrier lines being drawn by Chief Horrell in the past. However, I think because of this, because it was the FBI and I who the questioning, he is going to reassign me and put a police officer who is more willing to be pocket and willing to spy on the FBI agents in order to subvert the case. Please ask you to allow me to continue on assisting with the FBI in this manner, because I have lost my faith in Chief Horrell as my superior officer, and I truly believe that I can be of help to this case and this to Miss Short's justice.
So, I want you to roll persuasion.
Getting the negative effect. It's 15.
I'm going to say because he is I mean he's drinking. He's not drinking heavily, but do also because like he has freaking like Jean sitting in front of him. So no, I'm not going to say that you get the negative effect. You're not basically staring him down in this situation.
Well, it doesn't matter because I never would have made that anyway.
He.
So, I'll let you finish one.
Does anybody want like since you were going to say something? Does anybody want to assist her in this, or?
So I viewed into something and I say, Lisa, did Horrells tell you to spy on us and to report back to him?
Jean was in the same head.
No, I need currently I need to specifically know if anybody was going to assist her when she said when she was saying that, because of that I need to know if somebody's helping her.
Have sequestered the mayor away. She would be sitting there. The mayor would be in front of them. Leslie moved away, but everyone else would just be in their chairs.
Yeah, I know that. I'm asking if anyone.
Assist her particularly.
With you, Leslie, because you were there, also, and because and Jean and Richard could do it because they were the ones that received the brunt of the scolding from him. So it's more like just backing her up.
I myself would say Horrell's, I believe, overly upset and may take out some of his anger on her. Kid's doing good on the case. I think she should stay on it. I can throw persuade out if you want.
Yeah. So roll persuade for me.
Any bonus?
I'm going to give you a bit of bonus because he is seems to be willing to help you guys as much as he can. So you get a plus. I'm gonna say plus 10 to this.
I rolled a plus 10.
Oh!
Yay.
Put a check in that, my boy. So he was looking he was looking at Lisa, and he wasn't didn't seem to be quite sure until you Richard you kind of step in and kind of back her case up. He kind of looks at you and looks back at Lisa and gives a nod and says, I'll see what I can do. I'll make sure that he won't take you off the case.
Don't mind.
I still ask that question of Lisa.
Let me finish first.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, sir, I don't mind being demoted, but I'm very attached, or I'm very passionate about this case now. Just as sort of a, not necessarily a bluff, but she's probably going to like ask for a reassignment after this, because there's no way she's staying with Oral now that she knows he's
Yeah. He just nods and goes, I mean, I will see. I'll make sure that you'll be able to assist the FBI officers with a case. They seem to want to have you around, and that is good enough reason for me to help you with that.
All right. I still ask directly if Morals told her to spy on us and report back what we found.
And he backs that up, saying this is the second time you've mentioned it in as many days.
She says, not explicitly, and told him anything. Like she's choosing her words very carefully, but not in a lying way, but just in a sort of be mad sort of way.
I asked, what did he say specifically? What
Oh.
were the
Well, I don't remember
exact
what he said
words?
specifically.
I remember what he said specifically. I'm the gist of it, at least. He said, if they find any information or any evidence that they are not forthcoming, immediately forthcoming to us about, report it to me immediately. He basically,
So, like,
in case, like,
tell them that.
you basically want to make sure that you weren't getting ahead of them in the case.
Immediately tell them that and say, you know, even though she's like not too great with social cues, you know, she can read, you know, spy on them for me. I don't want them to win.
Yeah, he was also kind of just if they seem to be somewhat like not what he just really wanted you to keep an eye on them, and if anything he thought that if anything happened that that you would think is interesting enough to report back to him, you should basically. He never said spy, but it was heavily hinted.
Lisa quietly says that, you know, she hasn't given him any information that they themselves did not report to him as well.
So, you swear in front of the mayor.
Yes, yes. There's just Gene's
Yeah, she
shoulders
says it right in front of the mayor.
Fuck. How's the mayor taking this?
The mayor does seems to be somewhat not disturbed, but he's evidently bothered by this.
I
Got the
turned to
sad
the mayor.
puppy again.
I turned to the mayor and I said, have you had a problem with hate crimes recently?
Not any more than is that normally occurs.
No one specifically signaling out either Irish or shit, what would they say in the 40s? Gay, lesbian, bisexual. Those of
I think F was an option, but
ladies who like other ladies very much.
I mean, I know the words they use, but I'm not sure that they are appropriate words to say, so.
Yeah. Let's pretend that the...
And
Yeah.
pretend in our head.
Let's pretend we are naive fools.
1, 4, and 5 would probably pass.
Okay. Look, the word apparently you can still. I'll ask if there have been any specifically hate attacks on gay people of either gender or hate attacks on Irish.
He takes a moment to think. As in, he takes a moment to Google the answer.
It's the 40s. It's probably the Japanese.
What made you think of that line of questioning?
They've all been rounded up at this point.
Yeah, that's probably true as well.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't think that it's. He doesn't seem to think that it's gone anywhere like. It doesn't think that it's gone like. That it's more than normal, basically.
Well, if the
All right.
police force are corrupted, it could just be that no one's like, it's happening is no one's getting in trouble.
Yeah, basically. Also, they could be corrupted because of the mafia.
Oh yeah, I also... Gene sort of has a moment and goes, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, they might be destroying evidence too. We saw a few pictures when we were talking to the reporter, and the crime scene didn't look nearly as trampled as when we made it out there a few days later.
A day later, wasn't it?
That was a 2. It's not like a direct accusation, it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He
should probably leave until let the mayor process it
Yeah.
before
he just nods to this information. He doesn't have anything to add to the conversation there. He's just like,
I'm just imagining the story he's gonna go home and tell his wife.
Yeah, he seems to be somewhat overwhelmed at the moment because it's been a long day for him. Just like this half hour that you like this hour or so that you've been staying with him and just talking to him about this case and just getting it how
like another 3 fingers of cognac.
yeah like he's obvious he after he finished his second glass of like cognac, he just went and got like his his vodka out and just like poured that into a glass. And didn't even pour that into a glass, to start drinking that like from the bottle. He's like, oh god, this shit's bad.
I'm fucked, they're gonna want me to quit. Or resign.
I really want to go check out the hospital basement now, because I've put that thought into my own head and I can't get rid of it.
Smooth.
With the social cue that the mayor just kind of nodded with that information, Richard looks at his watch. Hey fellas, what do you think about turning in for the night? It is around 9 o'clock probably.
It's 9/11.
Yeah, it's the weekend's getting
I
started.
don't like how specific that time is.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not why I put that together afterwards. I was just thinking about random numbers, and I had the number 11 in front of me. No, okay, I know why I saw. The day the mayor died is September the 11th, and that's how I got the number.
We'll let the mayor
What's
get on call.
here? Really?
This was literally accidental. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's 9:12 now.
While, if we're all gonna head out the door, can I have one last chance to roll an idea? A sort of, oh yeah, by the way, thought that it like occurs to me right before we leave.
She's
Yep.
trying to pull a trying to pull a Columbo. Oh, by the way, if anyone knows Columbo.
Sure. Just what are you trying to assess with this idea roll?
I still feel like we're forgetting some.
Yeah, that
Screamingly obvious that we were going to talk to the mayor about, or that we should have talked to the mayor about.
You talked to him about the. You think you talked to him about all that basic stuff. I don't remember anything specific that you were going to talk to him about, but you were gonna get you're gonna get warrants, which you are gonna get through the judge named but I forget what the judge's name was. It was West. Yeah.
I still feel like there's something that would be common sense for me to ask with my profession.
Oh yeah, we were being followed. We never mentioned that.
About Manly or the reporter, anything that you want to know about them?
We forgot to mention that we were being stalked by the police.
Matter. Like at this
No,
point,
it was
sort
just oh yeah, on top of everything else.
Just adding insult to injury right there.
Yeah, that would be.
So with all these little things, Gina tells the mayor that he's gonna do a full write-up for him before we leave town on the findings of the police, on the state of the police force.
Yeah. Now, okay, with your idea roll, however, you one thing that kind of pops into your head is like you're trying to remember, like if you forgot something or like if you're missing something, and you kind of get a flash for a moment that when back to when you were dealing with that phone book, as you were checking through it for any occult related items, one thing you missed because you were so focused on searching for occult items, something related to occultism in any way, is that a name was scratched out on one of the pages, like all the way, like the number, the name, and everything, and none of the other pages had that you can remember. It was very and it was around the letter E when you were going through, so you get a flash of kind of back towards that, and it's kind of a moment of realization that you may have missed something there.
Alright.
If you mention that just aloud in the air to everyone else as we're leaving, Lisa would most likely have a phone book in her house, or in her apartment, or whatever it is, I forget.
Yeah,
but
I would wait till we're outside to say it, because I'd want to double back. Or
yeah, so he bids you farewell as you're leaving. As you're walking through the door, he kind of walks with you to the door and says, "Well, it's been a night, Agent, Detective. Thanks for coming to me and talking to me about this. I didn't know that things were this bad. I didn't know things were this bad. So, thank you, Gene." And he kind of extends his hand towards you, Gene.
I shake him. I shake his hand, not I shake.
Mayor! Mayor!
Take him by the shoulders.
And he also extends his hand towards the rest of you.
I shake.
You shake?
I shake. I'm assuming that you're shaking his hand.
I would also take it.
Except if you're Richard, because Richard's the pretty boy, so I expect him to shake something else.
It's a kiss from the mayor.
Right. Shake the mayor's hand. Nice cognac, by the way. 15 year by any chance?
16.
Ah. And just kind of nod.
And
Hat, don't you tip your hat.
okay.
I'm not sure. I'll tip the hat.
And Lisa, he extends his hand towards you as well.
Hey, thank you for this opportunity, sir.
And he just smiles as he nods towards you and says, "Don't mention it." You know, I'm gonna finish up here and head home. I'll call the judge for you when I get before I leave here. And he kind of like slowly closes the door, and you can hear him just kind of walk towards his desk. And as he's walking away from the door, you can just hear like, "Oh boy."
As we walk out, is the security guard still there?
Yeah, he's just like guarding the door. He's inside now though, but he knew that people were coming. That's why he was outside. There is a security guard just in City Hall.
And Gene
course, the
takes
mayor's
this
still
opportunity to break the heaviness, and he cracks a joke and says, "Well, at least he didn't call us fuckheads."
So would not laugh.
You get a wry smile from me.
Gene laughs at Lisa's lack of smile.
So once you
She didn't even know he called you a fuckhead until in the office, so she's just kind of like...
So it's about like when you walked past the security guard, he just like nods his head towards you and goes, "Good night, folks."
Night.
And he opens the door for you, and you leave. And you're, oh my god, I got an air bubble in my throat. And you walk towards the car. Would you?
Before we go anywhere, I'm like, I just thought of something. We gotta double back for that phone book.
Taking it, or are you just taking that page?
I need to look at it, but I'll decide while we're there. Like before anybody else can say anything, I'm booking it back the way we came.
Can we just take the car?
So Leslie just starts running towards where the phone booth was, and
I'll go get the car.
yeah, Richard goes towards the car. Is anyone going with Leslie?
Sis still has the keys, though.
I mean, are you gonna
Where's the car without the keys?
are you gonna throw Richard the keys?
Or, okay, if she had the keys.
or is
She tosses him the keys, and then walks after Leslie and offers Leslie her pocket knife.
Oh, you'd better be running because I'm running.
yeah, Leslie's running, so I'm not sure you would go while you're running. Like, do you want a pocket knife?
Anyway.
But you would probably offer like when she stops, when he stops. But Gene, I'm guessing you're going with the car. You're not one for running, are you?
Gene sort of starts to take a step or two, and then realizes that he's an old fuck, and then goes no and gets in the car.
I can also just see him not sitting next to Richard, but sitting behind him, like it's a taxi.
Very easily see him getting to the car. He sees Richard, and then he tells Richard to get in the passenger seat and takes the steering wheel.
Oh no, Richard's.
No, Gene just gets in the passenger seat. There's no. At this point, Gene and Richard have bonded, and that should scare you.
And Richard, as soon as Gene gets in, Richard goes, "Didn't want to show up the young ones, did you, Gene?"
And Gene's still actually huffing a bit because he did try and run, and he just sort of waved Richard off, just like, shut up and drive.
Small smile and drives.
Now, they're driving off. They arrive a bit. They arrive ahead of you, Leslie and Lisa. But when you arrive, you're huffing and puffing. What did you say, Leslie?
Do they pass us on the road?
Yeah, they pass. I mean, they would pass you. I kind of see like the teenage humor, like when you're driving past your friends and like Gene and Richard on the window, like nah nah, and just like waving you as they pass you. But yeah, pressing the horn as you go by. You slow fucks.
Oh man.
But
out the window. Smarter, not harder.
But yeah, like you kind of stop at the booth, and like shortly after you stop, you just see Leslie just sprint up to the booth and just like kind of tumble into it, and Leslie's just huffing and puffing with Lisa. Lisa is not breaking a sweat really.
Like Leslie, we're not in the army anymore. We don't have to run everywhere when someone says run.
Lisa does not seem to be very tired at all.
She's into it. She wants to continue running.
Yeah, she's just jogging and in the plate, like still jogging at, like standing still jogging, like at the place. She seems to like, Leslie seems to be like huffing and puffing while Lisa's just totally fine.
Hey, to be fair, I do parkour. That's one of my things on my character.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Okay, you're not huffing and puffing. You're not huffing and puffing nearly as hard as I thought.
I'm a little winded, but that's about it.
Lisa is a very active. Lisa is a very active athlete. So.
Yeah, she bikes to work every day, and she boxes and stuff.
So yeah, you're in front of this phone book that's lying there, lying on the top of the payphone.
Hey, I look at the E section.
So you look at the E section, and it doesn't take you very long to find the crossed out name, and it is. It is. Well, you don't know it's crossed out, but it is in the Elizabeth section.
Is it in the SH section after Elizabeth?
I mean, it's not a very hard guess, but you can't see the name, so.
Wait. They're always alphabetized by last name.
Oh yeah, I mixed them up with how they are back here in home. So, in the S section, retcon. So yes.
Short crossed out in a pile of other ones.
Yes. So there's one short Elizabeth cut off. That was not appropriate as a joke.
Gene looks over your shoulder and goes, "Huh, it looks like we're one short."
At that, Lisa actually laughs.
Yeah, if I'd be there, like I would literally laugh, and I'd feel like a tiny bit bad about that, like afterwards.
Yeah, Richard gives a real laugh to that.
So, but yeah, short is cut off. Is just like written off. There, it's been like penned out. Somebody like went like wild on that pen over that name.
On that page, Lisa is going to write down the 2 before it and the 2 after it. So when she gets home, she can find it in her own phone book.
Okay.
But phone books don't always just have numbers. They usually have home addresses.
Yeah.
So is it just the name, or is the phone number and the address?
It's just the name and the phone number, because it's a because it's a public book.
Definitely write down the address.
Would too.
And but do you want to check the book for anything else, or?
Yeah, I would do a flip through to see if any other names were crossed out.
Okay.
Just take it with us.
So, because you're specifically looking for it, it is library use, but I want you, but you're getting a bonus on it. You're getting, I'm looking at your library use. You just have 50% flat. Oh, you made it.
Yay!
You would not have made it without that.
Yeah.
But you find another name crossed out. It's in the U section.
It's Underwood. Damn it.
I'll bet. She's next. She's already dead.
She's long dead. Probably.
That's why, like, as soon as he said that it wasn't him, I knew it. Sounds kind of braggy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Can I take that back?
No, it's too late now.
Hold on. Police procedural question. At this point, Gene realizes we now need to take this phone book into evidence.
Yep.
I need a warrant for that, don't I?
Who owns a public phone book?
I can't just take the phone book or it's not admissible as evidence.
You see, you can take it, but you would have to announce it to, like, the state that you're taking it as evidence.
Basically, you would take it, I believe, you would take it to the evidence part at the police station, and you would have them to enter it into evidence information. They would have to tag it.
I'm not sure I want to call the police station yet.
I know, I'm just saying that I think that's how it works. You gotta take it there to have them do a tag and put a tag on it.
We could do that, but we could do that while we were watching and then release it into Lisa's custody by some sort of court order, since I'm still technically a police officer and I would be one that you trust.
Yep. So
Then release it into my custody.
And depending who's on duty for the evidence locker, it may be a friend of Lisa's or someone she can just sort of ask, okay, once we had it entered in, can we get it back?
Mm-hmm.
Lisa has no friends.
we're in a payphone. I call the mayor.
You know what I mean.
You hear the mayor guy. The phone's picked up. Yes?
Hey, this is Gene Franklin. We just talked a few minutes ago.
Yeah, yes, I remember. What do you need?
So we're a few blocks away at a phone booth. Have you had a chance to call the judge yet?
Yeah, I was about to do that a moment ago. I'm calling it like after this call. You just got me while I was dialing the number.
So I'm saying a phone booth that it came into our knowledge was used to call the reporter, and it looks like this phone, the phone book's been damaged, so we need to get a hold of the judge so we can get a warrant to pull this phone book. So I'll give you 5 minutes and then I'll call the judge if you can just get the word in ahead of me. Mine.
He goes, for a moment, you hear him thinking. You hear him like he's tapping his finger on his table as he's thinking. And he goes, you should have some evidence bags with you, I presume.
Lisa have any? Like in the car?
I mean, you guys would have some evidence bags with you. I would.
Yeah, sure.
I would.
How do we log it though?
That's what I believe I was talking about.
You would. You log. You basically.
But I could
You would log.
split.
You would log where you found it and when you found it and stuff like that. And he goes. Log it as evidence and we'll provide the. I'll talk to the judge later, and I'll also call the station for you to.
Does he have a safe in his room?
Wait. and I'll call the station also to have them know not to obstruct your investigation.
Have a safe in his room?
Not that you saw.
We might in our hotel rooms.
You guys have. But yes, so the mayor just basically told you that he's going to call the station later. And he's going to tell them not to obstruct you when you arrive with evidence and stuff like that.
So I reiterate back to the mayor that I think it would be in our best interest for both investigations, looking into the police corruption and the case, if he didn't get too thoroughly involved just yet, as far as like warning the police off and obstructing us. Because I just see that go, or Dean sees that going sideways really fast.
And he just says, he just, I won't tell them that you told me. I'll let them know that the the FBI office called.
Okay.
Would say out loud to the others while they're on the phone. Now, if we could get a warrant to search Miss Underwood's apartment because she might be in danger.
Actually, we could get around that by getting the landlord's permission.
Yes.
Or is it at an actual home?
As long as she didn't own a house. If she had a landlord, any landlord could give her permission to police and or FBI for that residence to be searched as part of a tenant tenant landlord. It's usually written up in the paperwork.
Let's see. She lives in she lives in an apartment, so
okay.
You guys would
then
know
we
that.
Probably...
But she probably lives in an apartment because she works to be close to home, be close to work and stuff like that.
Lisa would consider Miss Underwood to be a high priority now that we have seen that section crossed off. Would you guys want to wait until tomorrow to go look for her?
Nope.
Kana wants to go do that now.
Yeah, I would also want to do that now.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll take
this
the
is all
book as
shit that
evidence.
she would be saying out loud. Don't know how to talk in character.
It just comes with time.
Yeah. Alright, so we're taking the book as evidence now?
Yeah, you just have to put it into an evidence bag.
Alright. And we seal it, and it's got name, date of pickup, and all that crap.
Mm-hmm. They just need to process it back at the station and But
Okay.
But yeah. So what are you gonna do now? You're jumping into the car again?
Yeah, we've located her address from the address book, and I asked Lisa if she knows where it is.
Do I have to roll?
Nope. You know where her house is.
And she would drive there, but she would actually go push the speed limit.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
You
guys,
hear
we're on 35.
as you push the speed limit. I'm gonna check one thing for the sake of interest.
Jean makes a crack about her knowing her way around town good enough that she found the phone booth too.
So I mean, she didn't really have anything proper to go off there. She just knew that it was 4 off. But yes, as you're driving, you do hear police sirens start off behind you. But do you slow down, or are you gonna continue going?
If I look behind me, do I see are they following me? Is it more
Yes,
than one
they
car?
are. They are following
It's
you.
more than one car?
They're following the car that you're in. You don't know whether or not it's specifically...
At the first red light, she would stop the car, tell them to go on. Actually, no, that would be a bad idea. Stop the car, get out, and flash her badge at the car behind her, and say, "We can't wait. Get back in the car. Light goes green. She's off."
Okay.
I roll to do that.
I mean, you can. There's a question of how well that's going to play out, but...
Ooh, Chinese fire drill.
Doing that.
But that's what you want to do, right?
Driving.
Well, first I want to get a. Does anyone have furious objection to that?
So you're just kind of
I wouldn't let you get out of the car. I'd say if it's that important, they can follow us all the way to Underhills.
Just keep going. If someone
Someone
someone stopped her from getting out,
stop to the red light. You should have kept one of those things for the top of your car.
that is exactly why the cops started following, because you're pushing the speed limit. And you basically...
as soon as we get out, if we can all flash our badges. But
yeah.
Let's do that once we're at Underwoods.
So you rush, you continue rushing towards now. This is a fun time because you get to roll your first drive check.
Am I even the one driving? Because wasn't Helen
Richard?
in the driver's seat?
Richard is driving, so he rolls it. It's Richard. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm pushing the speed limit, huh? I
Yeah.
guess I will. You holding a gun to my head? Huh?
You don't have to, but
Dean's got a shotgun to your back.
Oh, it's just like everyone holds a pistol to your head. Push it.
That's it. Where's the first overpass? I'm taking us all down. All right. Fine. Everyone's all...
Stop
You need to get to 88 miles per hour.
I just want you all to know if I fail this, you're all yelling at the driver to drive faster, and that's bad. Yeah.
Oh.
You're like the only one that has anything like proper in it, I think.
I guess that means we're pulled over.
No, that means because it's because he's taking like very sharp, like not like he's not really slowing down too much for the turns and stuff like that. So this basically means that he's not spinning out of control immediately, no. But he does lose control of the vehicle for a moment. And like in one of the turns, he just like kind of, when you slide way more than you should, and you just kind of bump the rear end of the car into another car, and you just like, poof, and you kind of correct yourself that way. That's what happens.
Meant to do that.
It's a shitty car anyway.
Damn it, Richard.
You should be more. The people in the other car just like, oh shit, what's happening? And you're like, this is a shitty car anyway.
We're doing something. They can wait.
These things are made out of high quality metal.
That's
that probably didn't even put a dent.
Well, none of us are wearing seatbelts.
Oh, one of the police cars just like, there are like 3 police cars behind you right now. One of them just like, straightforward just crashes into the car that you bumped into. Just, it's like you forgot to turn and just like, poof. And that causes a big accident on the road. He rolled 90 something.
So, hey, a failure on my part was actually planned.
Yeah.
I look at everyone. I lost the tail.
The car behind that also failed. So no, he did not fail actually. But he stops because like he's not gonna drive into his buddies. The road is basically blocked because of this big accident there, and then there's the police that's still following you and like. Woo, 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 and,
Are we there yet? Can we? I really want us to just be there so we can have the confrontation.
And you're not there immediately, but it takes anything you want to do in the car while Richard's driving past the speed limit.
Oh.
Okay, so Richard, you continue breaking the law, but this time with a good purpose. And you arrive in front of the apartment building that Miss Underwood, you believe that Miss Underwood lives at. And you kind of like, when you're braking, you just like snap brake like in front, and you go a bit on top of the sidewalk, and just like really close to the door itself. Like you're not going all the way up. But...
when Richard sideswipes the car, Gene starts to say, well, at least, and then the cop car smashes into that car, and he pauses and starts again. Well, it looks like it's your turn to get yelled at by Horals now.
just driving it. Just like seeing it happen, flashing in his mind.
And Gene just has the equivalent of millennials go through his head. Just first Leslie, now Richard.
But to be fair, Richard wasn't trying to do this. This was totally accidental. And it's not his fault that they crashed into that car. So
No, that is sort of their own bad driving.
Yep. All I did was I just barely grazed it. They caused the accident.
So I'm guessing immediately when the car stopped, you're all jumping out of the car.
Is pulling my badge before we even get out of the car. My badge is in my hand because I don't want them to think I'm going for them.
Okay, they barely made this.
With my badge in my hand,
the police car that is following you, it's like it was really close, so it didn't expect you to just pull in like that and just stop. So they hit the brakes, and like their police car like bumps up in to the street a bit and like stops all like it slowly rolls and like bumps into the rear of your car, and they're like immediately like the guy in the passenger seat.
This bastard better have insurance.
And like the cop in the passenger seat like gets out like immediately with his gun and like badge and like freeze.
And we do too. Freeze. Right.
Flash. You guys are flashing badges, I imagine.
Richard, do you pull a gun?
No, I'm kidding. We are pulling badges, but I do have a gun.
No, I don't pull a gun on them, but I have one.
Gene gets out of the car.
We do not have time for this.
Basically, like
Get back in your car.
Did you all just go out of the car immediately when the car stopped?
Well, I want to get out of the car basically before the other cops.
I mean, that's why I'm asking whether or not you went out, because you're in a rush, so I just want to know how fast you get out of the car. I want to know basically whether or not you're outside the car when the cops arrive. I know Lisa is outside the car, and Richard's definitely outside the car because he flashed the badge. Leslie
Gene's
and Gene.
outside the car with his badge out and ripped shit.
Okay, so basically, you are you're already out of the car when the car stopped and they're going out of the car. They're still like braking when you're stepping out. Their car isn't completely stopped when you go out of the car. But yeah, there are two police officers just like pointing guns at you and going like, "Freeze!
No, you
freeze, sirs! Freeze, Buster! Freeze, you criminal scum!"
Badges.
This is all a big misunderstanding. FBI.
But yeah, you flash the badge and they're like, "You know, you're doing some heavily illegal driving there, sir."
Don't have time for this. That's why we were doing illegal driving. It's possible that a murder is being committed at this very moment. Get out of our way.
They seem to be taken a bit back, so they somewhat relax. Like they kind of like pull their guns back. They're not threatening you with the guns anymore, but
I'm invoking the bitch face.
Yeah. So
Gene jumps into it. We are in the middle of investigating the Elizabeth Short murder. We've recently come in information that another woman might be dead. Get the hell out of our way, and how fucking dare you comment on our driving? You rear-ended this car. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Get the fuck in your car and get out of here. And then he just heads up to the door.
And speaking of, since we're going up to the door and we're in a rush on this, I am going to go ahead and pull my gun.
Okay, so you guys run up. So you guys are running upstairs, and as you like run into the house, they go like, oh, wait, and you can hear the cops like run after you, but
And I yell over my shoulder, if you as long as you stay out of our way, you can be our backup. But we don't have time for this.
Jean doesn't want them involved. Secure the perimeter. We'll let you know if we need you more.
they're like not that close to you. Like they're like a good 15 feet away from you. Like you got a very good head start of them.
That's fine. I still want them out here securing the perimeter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're still following you, but they're still running up the stairs, though. But you're not sure whether or not they completely comprehend the situation.
Take them.
I mean, you basically, for them, you got out of the car, flashed your FBI badges and police badge, and run into a house claiming that there's been a murder, and they're like, what?
But there might be a murder.
So you reach...
You're supposed to have fast reaction skills.
Yeah, but they didn't expect the people that they were chasing to flash FBI badges, so...
And it was our fault. We didn't have one of those little magnetic lights that put on top of the car. So hey, whatever. But we got something.
So you run up to the third floor, and you're kind of running up the stairs, and you can hear like the loud thumps of you creaks up the stairs as you're running up, and people like you can see like when you run past like a moment afterwards, like people like kind of peek out because it's really loud. And when you get up to Underwood's apartment, it is closed, of course. So, and when I'm gonna roll a d4 to see who's in the front, unless you know who's in front. Have you decided who's the front
Gene
man?
would be in the front, wouldn't he? Because he went in first.
Gene's in the back.
Gene's in the back.
He's
Gene
too
can't
slow.
run.
Did Leslie go in after Gene, or did Richard?
I'm guessing like because Richard is probably not the first one because
Lisa would be the first.
it would be either Lisa or Leslie, depending. And I think Lisa would be the first one because she seems to be most adamant there. So Lisa, you just kind of grab the.
Like they walked into the reporter's office, so she's kind of high strung right now.
Yeah. So you grab the handle of her apartment, and of course it's locked. So you kind of like boom, kind of crash into the door.
Not running at the door. Once I get there, I would stop, and I would do the police knock. You know, bum, 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 bum.
There's no answer.
I would do it one more time.
And again, no answer.
Okay, and then if the door was locked and no one was answering, I would look at one of the FBI agents and say, "Go talk to the landlord," and I would make an attempt to break down the door.
Okay. So who wants to go talk?
Go look for the landlord.
Okay,
Gene stops her and says, "Either she's not here or she's dead. We can wait 2 seconds for the landlord.
Or she's
Let's not go destroying shit for the sake of destroying shit."
Just a sort of groan.
Or she's currently under attack.
Yeah.
Do we hear anything from the
Can we do listen rolls?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Where is it even?
Oh, nice.
Oh, whoa. Good job. Good job.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, suck job.
I got a check mark.
So, Lisa, I think Lisa got a check mark as well. So, Lisa, you can maybe increase your listen check. And Leslie is going down towards the landlord, so he can't do anything. So Lisa and Richard, you hear when you kind of put your ear to the door, you can hear the muffled sound of like running water, and also like the sound of a television being on. It doesn't seem to be like on any channel. It's like just static sound, that similar to like when you have like when the TV's just like doesn't get reception properly. So it's like a
sigh. Because she thinks she knows what they're gonna find.
Well, I'm sorry. Army's taking over. I'm a little more gung-ho about this. I'm going for the kick in the door.
Okay, so I mean,
Don't
roll
you have
kick.
like an injury to your legs? It wouldn't kicking be a bad idea?
I mean,
That was rehab, and I'm kicking with my right leg.
kick, man, roll kick, bro. I don't expect you to fail this, but I mean, you're getting.
Would it be more of a strength check?
Actually, yes, it's a strength check. So it's your strength times 5. What is your strength?
12.
12. So times 5, it's 60%. And wait, no, actually that's not correctly calculated. Resistance table. I remember this. This is a stationary object that is not a very good resistance. Good for you. And this means that the thing is... Here it is. Here's the resistance table. I needed this in my life.
News is we have the same strength, and you roll better usually.
So the
So
active...
you'll probably get it.
The active is 12.
We can do the double kick thing.
Kick thing. That would be
So,
really cool.
yeah, you have an 85% chance of making this.
Oh, damn.
Watch you fail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh! Screw dead. So, you just you just kicked down the door, and with a loud thump, like, people had already, like, been kind of peeking out of their doors. But, like, now this, like, people, like, are looking out. You get, like, the doors that weren't open, they're open now. Like, quickly after you do this.
I go in with my pistol drawn and start, clearing the hall as we go.
After you, like, when you get, like, not very far in, but you kind of, like, step into something wet. And when you look down, it's water. It's coming from the bathroom.
Lisa would head toward the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I guess where I'm heading.
Hole in the water.
The bathtub is running. There's nobody in the bathroom, but the bathtub and the sink are both running.
I use a cloth with my hand. I use a cloth so I don't get any fingerprints on anything, and turn those off.
Okay. You can only hear
so
the
it continue
static
clearing
of.
rooms, then.
I'm guessing Jean, who's outside the room, is, and the police officers that are with Jean at this moment that are just like really confused about things. I'm guessing you guys are holding off people that are like, what's going on? You're holding
Jean's
back.
securing the door.
Yeah. So
Lisa and I will start checking rooms.
And he gives
Go through
sort
the
of
gun and make sure.
the child version 30-second. We're on the investigation of the Black Dahlia or whatever word that's being used today to describe it. As part of our investigation, we've been trying to contact Underwood all day. We saw something that led us to believe that us being unable to contact her may mean that she was in dire danger or dead. So we rushed over here to the best of our ability to do something. There really wasn't another opportunity to get anyone else involved. We were the best cognizant agents and officers to handle the situation because we weren't that far away. Sorry for the confusion, but fuck your driving.
So, so Richard, you step into the living room where the TV seems to be on, and again, as you suspected, it's just on static. But you can roll spot hidden for me.
Okay. Not good enough for me.
Okay. So you don't see anything interesting.
Am I in a different room or the same room?
I'm guessing you're moving together because you might think that there is because somebody could be there.
In that case, are there any windows in that room? And if so, are they open?
Yeah.
There is a window in there, but it's not open.
Like fire escapes or anything? Do I see like underneath this window?
Fire escape. There is a fire escape there. Yes.
And is there any dust on the window?
Let's see if
Just do a spot hidden on the window in general.
just spot hidden on that thing. But you can also roll spot hidden for the room. You're rolling spot hidden specifically for the window now currently though.
Can I roll in the room too?
It's for a very
or
specific thing
can I
that
only do
It's for a very specific thing that the other one is for.
I do one, can I do the other?
Yeah, you can do one and the other. You can do both.
Okay, there's the window. Definite
There
success.
does seem to be some scuffling there. Like you're not.
So
It
I can
doesn't seem
assume
like
that the
it doesn't
window-
seem like it's been opened recently, but there is less dust at like some points, and more dust at other. So somebody could have used this window to like escape at some point.
The room in general, which is also really good success.
Sweet.
At least to me.
So when you're looking around, you kind of walk towards Richard, who's looking, he was looking at the TV, and then he looks a bit off. One thing you notice though, that when you look at the TV, is that the static is kind of weird. You thought first it was just like normal static, but something seems to catch your eye when you're looking at it.
Is it like is it like the antennas aren't
No, on the screen itself.
properly something on the screen itself?
Yes. Like in the static.
Do I have to roll something, or can I just ask you what is on the screen?
Oh, what is on the screen? Now, that's a fun thing. On the screen, you can, like, once you go close and you kind of peer your eyes, it says, "I killed the Underwood reporter."
That just sounds like a red herring if I've ever heard of one.
Do an occult roll.
I have like zero. Okay, I'll do an occult. Wait, Kellen, what's your occult?
Yeah, I see Lisa leaning into the TV.
Yeah?
Just ask
Touch him and
Bruno,
point it out.
What are you-
What?
what are you looking at?
That.
I have
Does-
some occult.
If
call
you
me
really
in.
point it out for him, then yes, you would see it when you'd lean in and just, like, kind of peer your eyes.
What?
Okay, I'll do an
the
occult
hell?
roll. But my occult is 5.
I mean, you can roll occult, but it would make sense, but it would make some sorts of sense.
Sense at all, but
No, Richard's just like, can TVs do that? In static? Is this a channel?
with like just the stoniest stone face. Just the all you have to do.
Do you call Gina? And Gina has some
I
occult.
was just about to actually. Leslie, Jean, either one of you out there, get in here.
Full house. 'Cause
Leslie's not up yet, so.
Yeah, he just yells. He doesn't know.
House,
I the landlord,
because
Currently, Leslie is kind of like just knocking on the door of the landlord, like, get your ass out here. Get off the stinker. We need you to do things for us right now. We are the FBI. And
So
clear the whole
it doesn't
house
take
for
like
guns.
you're basically on your way up when Jean is walking in. I mean, you're just getting the landlord.
Okay.
If you want to specifically say something to him, you can, but I mean, flashing the badge in his face would be enough to catch his attention.
Yeah, I would just put my badge in right in his face and go, I need permission to look over a Miss Underwood, her room.
the words you're looking for are wellness check. Nope, guess not.
What I say is, I need to look in her rooms, please.
Yeah. And you're basically on your way up. The police officers, they've kind of managed to gather what's going on, properly understand the situation now, and they are keeping people from entering into the room.
And I did holler out for Jean or Leslie because I didn't know who was standing out there, if Leslie was back yet or not.
So Jean, you walk in and you kind of step into a bit of the.
Before I go in, I tell the two cops, I need one of you to, keep the door to her apartment clear so no one comes in. I need the other one to go outside and make sure that other people keep an eye on who's trying to come and go, or monitor who's coming and going. Do they follow?
One of them goes down, and the other goes towards the goes and basically watches the door.
Okay, so I go in.
And
what's up, guys? Where are we?
You step into the wet. You step on the wet floor as you walk in, and you following the voice of Richard. You walk into the living room. You can see
the whole house. And Lisa wouldn't let him in.
You can see both Lisa and Richard just leaning in front of this TV, just kind of somewhat entranced by it.
They're in the house.
All right, what'd you guys find?
Jean, look at this, and I move out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a TV. Yes,
no.
I've seen those before.
And I point to a specific spot. No, Jean, really, trust me. Look at this.
What the hell?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So,
Alright,
the past 10 minutes, but no one, answered me at all.
Oh, what did you say? Lisa.
And it's gone.
Yeah, it seems like you're kind of dropping in and out. Oh,
And dropped out.
there, she's back.
Possibly.
She's not saying anything, at least.
Yeah.
No?
We heard you say a thing.
And you hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, after we saw that on the television,
Hmm?
Lisa would definitely clear the rest of the house, and she wouldn't let anyone in, Jean or let Kellen or Richard call for Jean until the rest of the house is cleared and not dangerous.
I mean, you'd be saying it to him after he called, though, because he called pretty quickly after he saw this.
She was just sort of do a mental face palm and go, we have to clear the rest of the house.
Yeah. The one of the things that just kind of happened when you were looking at the screen is like I said, you got kind of entranced by it for a moment, which is why you felt like you couldn't kind of take your face off it for a second, because you haven't seen any. This is really difficult to see this, and it's kind of interesting that this is there.
Lisa does not believe that Underwood is dead at all. because the Elizabeth Short was tortured a day or two, before she was killed.
Very likely a week before she was killed.
Yeah, so Lisa, if it's the same person, Lisa, which she believes it is, she would think that this is a red herring in order to get the cops to not want to be quite as quick, like saving her as opposed to recovering her.
But yeah,
I think this is kind of a hard thing to do in the 40s with the TV.
But yeah, Gene, you're looking at this screen, kind of baffled by what's going on. While Lisa and Richard seem to.
At that point, I'd probably come in.
Yeah, Lisa and Richard kind of seem to have kind of somewhat gathered themselves again and started continuing their search of the house.
Can I roll occult on the TV screen?
Yes, you can. Leslie, you are in. Leslie, currently currently you are just outside the room talking to the police officer there about what has happened. He doesn't like say a whole lot. He just gives you like the rundown of what he knows, which is they kicked down the door, and then they called for Jean, and the water. There's like water on the floor and stuff. So, and
nothing I couldn't have figured out for myself, but I thank him. And I stepped past into the room to watch them all crowded around the TV.
You see Jean in front of the TV. I think the only one you see in front of the TV is Jean. The other one, Lisa and Richard are basically like they've started to look more around the living room. But Jean, you rolled a success on that.
That's a critical.
Yeah. So, you know that like some sorts of occult things could do this. If you want to go into real detail, like you think like if a poltergeist of some sorts could do this as well. You don't know. You wouldn't know if there's a specific like if they have any sorts of like occult magic or anything like that that could do this. But
does Jean even believe in occult stuff?
Jean studies occult stuff.
But one thing you do
with a background like antiquities and crap, he can identify occult stuff just from having worked with forged antiquities. So stuff like, well, actually, every time you see Diana, she's facing left, not right. So you can tell from that this is forged. So that was sort of how I played it in. So it's like mythos sort of.
But you also kind of realize that although this may not be natural for a TV to do this, there might be a simpler solution to this.
Is there like Jean looks for the obvious thing, like a VHS player or something?
Yes.
There weren't any VHS
or
players.
There's some sort of recording device, or is there some sort of other electronic machine hooked up to the TV?
Like a telegram machine?
I don't know. I'm looking for the proverbial black box that's hooked up to the TV that might be like projecting the signal in.
The antennae.
So, like when you basically look at the antenna, and you kind of like you're just examining the TV in general, you kind of find like there's a cord there that you just you follow, and this is basically and it's connected to basically what like you find this kind of tucked away, so it's not obvious, but you find an item that it basically is similar to it would be similar to an item that sends signals. Like that would send a signal to a TV. So basically, it's like this is its own channel on the TV.
Determine that there's no one else in here.
All right, I'm just finishing this occult thing before I continue with you guys. So basically, what you kind of think is that to put it into modern terms, it's kind of like a scrambler. Like they're static, but like the scrambler that is down there on the floor is basically being used to do that on the screen.
Okay. So what happens if Gene goes behind the TV and unscrews the cable?
It goes complete static.
Okay, what happens when I screw it back in?
It returns. The text returns again.
Okay. So I do that. I circle the forces and show them the box and go, I think that's where the weird message is coming from.
You're pointing this to Leslie. Currently Lisa and Richard are not in the room.
Okay.
So I did, or I don't. So he's just talking to me.
Yeah, he's just pointing this out to you at the moment.
Right? Can I? So I would like to just add stuff to the profile in my head of a killer who's leaving messages for the police.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a second person who's been taken. I'm thinking of, like, do you want me to, like, roll psychoanalysis?
Not currently.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm checking out here.
I feel like I'm Will Graham from Hannibal. But this is my design.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna... which, Lisa and Richard, which one of you wants to be high and which one of you wants to be low?
You at all.
What did
Repeat that?
What did you say, Lisa? I didn't hear you.
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna disconnect my internet and reconnect, okay?
Okay. So, I'm just gonna put Lisa as low then. Which is fine, because the Richard is the one that goes through this. Now, Richard, you're going through basically the house, and you enter the final room, which is basically her bedroom. And again, you find nothing that would suggest that she is there. But you find this kind of interesting because you got because of the message that you got on the that you guys got on the TV, and because of like how basically textbook this place was for, like, to mask sound.
Mm-hmm.
So, but one thing you notice on as you're kind of walking in the room and you're kind of looking around, you walk towards like the nightstand as you're looking, and the first thing you see on the nightstand is a key. But the key does not seem to be like of the house, like of the room upstairs. It has like a tag on it.
Again, everything I'm doing with like a handkerchief, so that way I'm not dirtying any fingerprints or anything like that. So I will pick it up and look at it.
Roll idea for me real quick.
Okay. Got my idea. All right.
Oh, nice.
Super idea.
So you feel like this was deliberately placed there for it to be found?
I will pull out an evidence bag since...
Do you want to read the tag?
Oh, the tag actually says something, yeah.
Yes, it says boiler room.
Boiler room. Alright. I will,
With your idea roll, you can put together that this house has a boiler room. Probably in the basement.
All right, I know everyone else is kind of doing something at the moment, so I will, keep the key and keep it in the little handkerchief that I'm using. I will start
Probably
heading.
still have evidence bags.
I'm about to probably use it, so I'm not really putting it in there just yet.
Yeah. So Lisa's looking through one of the other rooms, which seems to be her office.
She wouldn't really be looking as so much as if she hasn't if
it's
they
more,
haven't cleared the building yet.
It's more like you're going into the room and making sure that you're not missing anything in there before you continue. Because currently, I'm just mentioning this because of what Richard's doing at the moment, so that he knows the surrounding that is happening at the moment.
Yeah. So she would be very nervous about Leslie and Jean being inside before they've cleared the apartment. So she would be just making sure to check everywhere to make sure there is no suspect in the rooms in this apartment specifically before she does any sort of investigations.
Yeah. So Richard, what are you gonna do now that you have the key?
Yes. All right, so
Leslie and Jean seem to be somewhat occupied by the TV thing, and Lisa seems to be frantically trying to, in a frantic manner, trying to make sure that that things are as they should be.
Or that no one's going to kill them.
Yeah, basically just checking out everything, making sure that things are in order and stuff like that.
Lisa, you done clearing your room?
I think we're clear. I think we're all clear. We can start. Actually, we should set up a crime scene and start to investigate.
Lisa, I want you to come with me. And let's go to the boiler room. I have a feeling, a very blatant feeling, and I'll show her the key.
In that case, we should probably get Leslie.
I mean, by all means.
Leslie and Jean, you can roll listen. They're not far away from you.
I would roll listen.
No.
To be fair, that's Jean's listen.
I know.
I also don't listen good.
So,
anyway, Lisa finishes that thought with Jean probably wants to stay and bully the plainclothes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to set the crime scene, then yeah, maybe I should take Leslie instead.
To be technical here, the one that has jurisdiction here would be Lisa, because she's the police officer. So by protocol, she should be the one putting it up.
She would be the one putting up the crime scene for here, the apartment.
Would go outside and get the officer watching the building.
You're basically the high-ranking officer at the moment.
Him to give me the supplies in his car, like crime scene tape and fingerprint dust and all of that stuff.
He does not have fingerprint dust in his car. Fingerprint dusting, it is done, but it is a much more delicate procedure than it's at all.
We have experts for that shit.
They have experts for that shit. They have to call
crime scene investigators. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
You can
nightmare to do properly.
You basically get access to crime scene tape and not a lot more than that, but by the time when you're going down, because I can see you going down with Richard. Richard, are you're taking Leslie with you?
Yes, I tapped Leslie. Hey, Leslie, I found this key that has a tag that says boiler room on it. You want to go down to the boiler room with me?
Leslie says yeah.
Jean is there.
I don't want to go down to the boiler room.
Jean can hear this as well, because Jean is standing next to you. But you head off. If Jean wants to say something, it's about it's.
I actually
I'll
don't give him
keep
much
your
time to
secure-
respond. I start walking. I'm a
Yeah,
man of
basically
action.
when he's responding, you're already like walking off.
At this point, Gene's going very by the book, but at the same time, Gene is afraid of leaving the crime scene alone, or like not overseen by someone at the FBI for any length of time. Like I'm already going through in my head how we're gonna do shifts tomorrow, so
It's
that
gonna be a
this is
long
not
night.
left alone.
So, Jean stays reluctantly back at the crime scene, and Lisa, Richard, and Leslie kind of are going down the stairs, and they separate at the entrance where Lisa kind of jogs out to get crime scene tape. And when you're walking out, Lisa, you can see that more police cars are arriving at the scene. One of the other cars that was following you, and the 4 other officers that they left the car after they to go there after they got called by the officer outside. And
They should start wrangling them up to do minor duties, like watching like someone find the landlord, someone call in
the landlord's
crime scene
upstairs. So
investigations.
you would know that the landlord's upstairs. You passed him. Leslie didn't mention it, but you asked Leslie to go and get the landlord ahead of before. So
Well, if I had access to the landlord, I wouldn't be doing this.
Well, we didn't need it's up to the landlord. All I need is his permission.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, you could have easily gotten his permission to go in. But he would still be up there now because he's interested in what was happening. But you would still need to go down to get crime tape and stuff like that, so.
If I passed him by, then I would stop talking, but if he's just like in an office, then I'd be wrangling the other police officers and just sort of handing out duties so everybody's doing something.
Yeah. So Richard and Leslie, you're walking down to the basement, and you kind of get to a door that obviously just leads into like a storage room, not into the boiler room, you think, though. But it's the only door. Like you walk down and there's a door in front of you, and when you open it, you get into like a dark room, but and you can obviously smell the foul odor in the air.
Turn on the light switch.
When you turn on the light switch, you can see that there isn't a whole lot to see down there. There are a couple of like doors that seem to be going off to some storage areas, but you don't see anything like that immediately catches your eye. But it also it does feel like it's more vacant than it should be.
All right,
you know
Leslie,
you know how like often storage areas, like common storage areas, are like often filled with like a bunch of crap. There's
Right.
like nothing, like empty.
That's strange.
It's like surprisingly clean down there, if anything.
But we do smell something foul.
Oh,
Yeah, you smell something very foul.
that he was a war veteran when he
Turkey.
of like death.
I mean, it's very foul from where you are, but you can't like you roll biology for me. No, you don't need to. You would recognize the stench of death.
Right.
Is it new death or is it old death? Like, how new is this death?
But I didn't say it was death. I just said that you could recognize this foul stench of death. It's just a foul stench in the air.
Well, let's proceed. I will proceed in front with, of course, gun drawn just in case, towards the boiler room or whichever door.
There's
says boiler.
there's a tiny bit of hallway, and when you like go into the hallway, you quickly turn to the left, and you can see like the boiler room door, and and it has like the tag on it, boiler room.
Is it nice, rusted, and dark, and looks like we're about to get murdered?
It looks like the gate to hell.
Perfect.
Does it
I
have
was
hooks
expecting this.
hanging from the ceiling?
Yes. No. It's basically just a pretty common looking door. It is metallic, but it's not like metallic in such a nature that it's like trying to keep anything in or something like that. It's just like because it's a boiler room.
Right. We'll proceed to the door and unlock. Does the key fit?
Yes, it does.
I draw my gun. I was gonna cover him.
I'll open the door.
So when you pull the door open and Leslie, you aim your gun in as in response to possible hostilities. You see very little, if anything, and you see the glow of the boiler at the other end of the room, and but the smell grows much stronger now.
Turn on the lights.
So when you reach for the light switch, you kind of push the switch, and for like a second the light turns on, and then the bulb explodes.
Oh God!
I reach into my pocket and pull out my pen light.
So when it explodes, let's because I'm guessing you guys would be pretty startled by this, and both of your, I mean,
we're both war vets. I mean, we dealt with
it was a pretty violent explosion. Like bulbs don't explode just like.
I would definitely take a step back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've heard, like, I work with lights, and, like, when bulbs, like, explode, it's pretty freaking violent.
We basically, what would have happened is probably as soon as the explosion would have happened, we would have taken cover outside the door.
Yeah.
Like as if someone had just fired a gun at us.
So, yeah. So basically, this is not for Sandy purposes, but I want you to roll Sandy to see just how startled you are.
Okay.
Like, if you fail, you're not getting a Sandy point. It just means that you're freaked out.
This is no good for me.
No, you're not.
I see Miles on the roll.
You did not have a good experience in the war, bro.
Nope.
Dive
for cover.
Both of you just like you dive for cover, and you just like. You don't think it's the bulb, but you think it's like something, like you think somebody's shooting at you first. And you can just dive outside, and you're both lying on the floor. You're like, in a moment, the stench is getting stronger, but you're like, and you kind of rise up when you think it's safe, and you realize that it was the bulb that blew up.
I look at Leslie, it's like, I won't tell Gene if you don't.
I just shake my head. Like, there's no way I'm telling Gene.
And you push yourselves back up, and you turn yourselves towards the door again, and you again start to advance, both with your guns drawn and
flashlights out,
and with your flashlights out, and you kind of flash the light into like the corner first, Leslie, and you kind of, as you're going around the room, you immediately start noticing like something's off in this room. And when in a few moments when you're like just turning around, you feel like somebody's watching you, so you decide to like turn towards where you feel that the feel like the ice like the person is that's staring at you. And what happens is, like, because you're walking a bit into the boiler room, you turn around and you see the headless corpse just inches away from your face, hanging from the ceiling.
How is it hanging if it's got no head?
What?
So,
If it's got no head.
Yes, this time you do need to roll Sandy. Richard, you haven't seen this at the moment, so you're fine.
Yeah.
You're turning your back
Is it
towards
hanging,
this.
like under the arms?
It's hanging by the foot. It's
Just one foot.
yeah, but you don't see if it's just 1 foot at the moment. You're staring into its missing head.
Yeah, I got a 27 on my sanity.
Okay, so I mean you're very startled by seeing it, but you don't take sandy damage, I think.
So I just go, fuck.
And you hear Leslie just go fuck. And it is there where we will fade for this episode. Cut!
Jeebus.
So Leslie, you found a headless corpse. How do you feel?
I not thrilled about the headless corpse. But
Oh.
Well, I'm not looking forward to the beginning of the next episode when I turn around and get, my brain decides to leap out of my head. And,
That's not going to be fun for you, that's for sure.
oh God, because it's not. Unfortunately, it's not a body on an autopsy table because I'm used to that now.
No, this is like a headless corpse hanging from the ceiling of a boiler room.
If there's ever a chance that I need my dice to be in my favor, it's the beginning of next episode.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't wanna.
We weren't like violently wrong, and we didn't kick down the door, and she was just in the bath.
Like the worst thing that could have happened is like really one of the worst things is when Leslie was rolling the sandy check for like when she almost bumped into the body. Basically, that could have ended really badly because you could have just like walked into the body and just screamed. You would have probably screamed depending on how much sandy damage you would have taken. So that would not have been fun for you.
I would have screamed.
What? I didn't hear that.
Wait till I have to like. Seeing as I'm the chief police officer here, I can't wait till having to explain this to Horrell, especially since he's so pissed.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
What's gonna be fun is the debrief when he goes, "What else have they found?" And you go, "You're a lying sack of shit."
I was really entertained when you were looking at
now that I've got a little bit of traction with the mayor, I can actually go neener neener neener. I don't have to listen.
So one thing that I found really funny is how like everyone fucked up the library's role on the phone book.
I didn't look. But
I know, but like I was like, come on, you're doing so many rolls on this book. I couldn't be making this any more obvious that there's something in this book. Why this shit's going bad?
Well, that's why when you're like, "Do we take it with us?" I'm like, at this point, I think we need to, but Jean has no reason to take it.
Yeah.
Would have been bad
No, that's
anyway.
That's the entire problem I've been having this whole campaign is when you think of things, but at the same time, your character is not nearly as creative or has seen as many cop shows or whatever as you have, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I was really happy when Leslie Leslie got that idea check, and I could be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a hint here.
The minute Aggie Underwood said she had talked to Manly, I went, well, she's gonna die. I have absolutely no reason to like keep tabs on her.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining portion. Also, like the whole time when you were trying to figure out like the schools in the area, and I was like, God dang it, I know nothing about the schools here, man.
Nope.
Well, that's the problem too. Is it's like as soon as you went, my head's like red herring. Never mind. Not relevant.
I mean, I did not plan around schools being a big part, but there's a lot of things I need to look up, or like, I mean, they're trivial, but I need to know them to some extent. But the schools was
To be honest,
like
I was expecting
the
my
school.
internet is really going absolutely nuts. I keep getting like, it doesn't the green thing doesn't pop up until someone's like already halfway in the middle of a sentence.
Oh.
So I keep talking over people, and I really don't mean to, and I'm so sorry.
But since I know that our good friend Callan here needs to go and do other stuff, and our good friend Michael needs to also do some stuff, so we're gonna call it here. It's not a very long endgame discussion as we usually do, but hey, we'll do a better one next time when we all have more time. But but I want to thank everyone that was watching for watching. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and please subscribe. It would be great. You'll get to see more things with me, Kellen, Zia, Michael, and Brianna, such as the Unsolved case. Woo! Woo. And we're finally getting to more interesting things where people are dying, and Richard's gonna go insane.
Someone kicked a door down.
Yeah, someone kicked the door down. Finally, someone pulled out a gun.
Schrodinger's sanity check. As long as I do not turn around, there is both a body for me to go insane with and not a body for me to go insane with.
Exactly. So, until next time, guys, I am Godpool, and I was joined by Kellen, who's playing Richard Barden.
Sup, bye.
Zia, who is playing Lisa Di Bruno.
Take bets on who's gonna die next.
It sounds like I was saying the Bruno, but it's Lisa Danielle Bruno. So, and Michael, who is Gene Franklin, our local angry man, who's finally made a friend in Richard. And then we got our psychiatrist, who's played by Brianna, and is named Leslie. That was a very confusing sentence. I did not know where I was going with it. Brianna is Leslie, everyone.
Bye.
Until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Cut. Okay.
Cut.
I totally screwed up the last one for Leslie.
It's okay. Just edit 5 seconds out. It's fine.
No, the screw-ups are fun.
Later on, we can get out of our black suits, black ties, fedoras, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm looking forward to next time.
If I am at home, I am never wearing anything close to proper pants.
See, one of the things, because I was speculating for next week whether or not I would do for next week a podcast like where we discuss the campaign, because we're reaching kind of a point where we could do that for it. But I was thinking, and I started thinking like it would be really mean doing it now when we know that Richard needs to make a sanity check next time. He'd have to wait 2 weeks for it. It would be really mean, but we're not doing that. Thankfully.
No, everyone's taking bets on when Richard finally bites the bullet.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, we've had 2 proper sanity checks here, and you failed one of them.
Oh.
But yeah, thanks for the game, guys. It was fun.
It was great.
It was a lot of the time was spent talking to the fucking mayor. But
the mayor.
The mayor.
But
Yes.
now we have horses.
Yeah, you do.
I'm
Failed
just
for
trying to
kicking down
comment
that
while
door.
Dane